welcome to SSE Texas TV. If you can, tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, KWEEN KARZAREE in the flesh. Finally, I'm so honored to be here. So thank you for having me. A little bit about myself. It's kind of hard to say a little bit, but KWEEN KARZAREE from Brazoria County, Texas.
All right.
South side as it gets.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? 288 South. You know, first talent shows and everything. Grew up as an artist, you know, behind the footsteps of my father, who was an artist.
Okay.
So music is deeply rooted, as a lot of people know. I have siblings, like my sister. Shout out Texas Marie, who is also a dope female artist, and it's just something that runs in our blood. This is what we do. We love it.
Okay, great. So, you've been always in the Houston area on the south side, or did you come from somewhere else, or you always been in Houston all your life?
Always been Brazoria County, south side of Houston, but Houston, Texas. So we're on the south side. So sometimes you're on the city limits, and sometimes you're living on the county limits. But we're Brazoria County, Texas, which is Pearland and 288 South, everything back.
Okay. Well, I see you a lot on social media. You're doing your thing, and I see that you work with a lot of people in the Houston area. And I wanted to know, out of everybody who you work with, what was your most important or project that meant something to you?
Oh, meant something to me. I feel like the ones that mean the most to me are actually solo projects. And surprisingly enough, and I got some cool artists that I'm very excited that I was able to work with, and a lot of the times when I'm collaborating with other people, it's more off of a whim, or the time is right, or hey, we're both in the studio, and so things are not as intentional, I would say. So the music isn't always intentional, but the more important music to me is that intentional music that I write when I'm sitting down, when I'm really well thought out writing. So I would say that would be solo project 715 for me is a track that nobody has really heard just yet. So if you know, you know, but it's the most important track, I would say.
So, being in the game as a female in the industry, what would be some of the positives and the negatives, especially being in Texas, trying to do music? I just want to know what are the positives and the negatives about it?
Well, it's a lot of blessings. It's a lot of blessings. It's a big city. We the cool kids, we have that deep culture that we're trendsetters, people come to us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So one of the best things that I love about the city is that you can make money in the city.
Right.
A lot of people have to leave their hometowns or leave where they're from to travel and find opportunity, and there's just so much opportunity in this city. So I would say that is one of the biggest pros to being in this city. The cons, negative to it, I feel like the city may not have unity as much as I would like.
Right, exactly.
I'm really big on community, and there's no community without unity.
Right.
So, and everything that's important to me starts with community, and of course that requires unity, right?
That's right.
So I feel like there's a lot of places where we could work on being a little bit more unified.
Now I want to ask you this question. If you could work with anybody in the music industry, if you could look at this camera, if you could work with anybody in the music industry, who would it be and why?
In the entire music industry right now?
Yes.
I'm gonna go for a Kendrick Lamar.
Okay, why? Why Kendrick? That's a good choice.
Oh man, the delivery of his art, how well he's able to articulate emotion into his art and bring it to life, not only lyrically, but in the way he delivers it, you know.
Okay.
So it's like his voice is really an instrument,
Yes.
but he's not a singer. And so that's kind of how I, you know, try to equate and as a female artist is that I might not be pumping out a song every week or every month, or I don't have a lot of music drop, but when you do hear something from me, it's like, wow, you know, and maybe I'm not singing, but it's just something about the way she sounds when she say it.
That's right.
You know, and so whenever you get other artists like-minded like that and that have that in common, I think that's like great music.
Okay, well,
you know?
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right quick. Out of everybody in the industry, it's an industry question, who is overrated?
Overrated.
That you do not really care for.
Well, I can't say somebody I don't really care for. Hey, this is a setup question. Revert, we gonna have to leave. He's trying to set me up. Man, overrated. I'm gonna say this. Can I say what's overrated? And I'm not gonna pinpoint it on a particular artist, but we all know. I think the over-sexualizing music is overrated. It's getting really boring to this fact, to where it's like there's nothing about a woman that's left to the imagination anymore. Everything is just so, there's no boundaries to the music when it comes to female artists. And so I would say over-sexualized female artist is very much overrated right now. I'd say that.
Now, you know, growing up in Houston, how was your childhood growing up? Did you have any adversities or anything like that? I see that you have like a mixed nationality. Did that give you a problem in the industry, or was you embraced in the neighborhoods and in the music industry?
Well, that's a good question. You know, obviously I am mixed nationalities. I'm Black and I'm Mexican. So, and again, I was raised in the south side of Brazoria County. So that's where you see Lake Jackson, Texas. Clute, Texas is where I was primarily raised. And there is some more country. It's not as city orientated.
Okay.
And so, in the system, being in school, of course, there were things that I faced, you know, like any child does regarding my race. And if it wasn't because I was Black, it was because I was Mexican, or both, or maybe one made the other side feel like I wasn't, you know. It's like, where do you belong sometimes when you're both, because you can only be embraced 100% by people who can like 100% relate to you, you know? I feel like pretty soon everybody gonna be mixed anyway, so it's not gonna matter. You know, everyone will just probably be mixed, but no, that of course that came with some.
I want to ask you this then. If you could give some young ladies that's in that same situation some advice, just in case they see this video one day surfing through social media, that have that same situation, what advice could you give them to help them get through it, just like you did?
Just stay faithful in your purpose. Continue faith in yourself. You know where you're going and why you're going there. Don't allow anyone to make you question it. If you know you belong in a place, don't feel like you owe anyone an explanation for being there. If you belong there, you belong there. Know your place, stay your ground, and don't allow other people to project their emotions and their negative traumas onto you.
Nice.
You know, because it's just a lot of that. You know, it literally, that's what it is. You look back in your childhood and you just see it was other adults that you came across that may have had some trauma and they were projecting that, you know, so that's the way I feel like you just stay grounded in yourself.
Okay. Now, you know, I see you a lot on social media doing a lot of great things, and I also understand that you're more than just music. So if you can explain about some of your things that you do outside of music, I would love to hear it.
Absolutely. Well, again, I'll say it again. I am a firm believer in community. When I started making community the first thing that I focused on and my first focal point, everything else for myself started to fall in place. So I'm a community activist. I love doing whatever I can for my people, number one. Number two, yes, I am an artist. Number three, I'm an event coordinator and curator of Forever Faded. So if you've ever seen any Forever Faded events or open mics, that's me, curated by me and my team, which is co-signed by Hustletown Network and Exotic Pop, which I'm honored to have entities of that stature supporting me in everything that I do. So you'll also see me event coordinating for some of their events as well. So those are, you know, the two entities I work with, Forever Faded, but, you know, I host, and then during the day I am a legal assistant. Okay, and so going back to community and making everything full circle, I have a nonprofit organization that is very near and dear to my heart that I'm building. And so all the work that I do as a legal assistant is helping me format that nonprofit organization, who also I'm honored to be working with the attorney I'm working for, who will also be teaming up with me on that nonprofit organization. So I like to make everything that I do work together, you know, for the greater good.
And the reason I ask you that, because I see you, and there's not too many female artists that's doing anything for the community. You don't really see them out too much, you know, and I watch, you know, like, man, she really cares. Your grind is just impeccable, you know, and it's very outstanding. So, you know, I'm proud to, you know, to get this interview from you. I made it my first interview to get this started. So I'm very, very proud to have you on. And so we're gonna get to some more questions. So
okay, I know you got them coming.
So in this music, you know, you're a very beautiful person. You carry yourself well. Have you had any problems with any type of males in this industry, or even females? You know, some stalker stuff. Do you got like a simple story you can tell the people?
Simple?
Well, how you?
Man, I don't have no stalkers. I don't think.
So what's the craziest thing?
I mean, I've had people so obsessed with trying to make things difficult for me. I've had situations like that from more than one person. You would think that things like that don't happen that often, but they've actually happened all my life. So it's something that I feel like I've kind of I let stuff like that roll off my shoulders, so it's not really a big of a deal. I don't make it a big deal, but I do have people that do weird stuff. I mean, who doesn't? You know, but I think as a woman, I'm able to set my boundaries enough to where I really don't have, you know, now there's some people in my DMs I have to block. Like, don't play with me now, you're doing too much. You know, DM being disrespectful, you're gonna get blocked. You know, so just, there's that there for those who be sending them random DMs and I don't see till a year later, and then when I finally see them, I'll block you. But it's like, just don't be weird to me like that. I get a lot of those weird messages. What else?
And one thing I want to bring up too, I seen you on a great show, Rap Economics. I seen you on there doing your thing. Shout out to Rap
Economics.
Shout out to them. You know, shout out to Exotic
Cat and Presley.
Also, I forgot. Shout out to Exotic Pop and everybody else, and Hustletown.
Yes, that's how I got connected in with Presley through Exotic Pop.
Yeah, they doing their thing.
Big stepper.
Getting back to that, I seen you on that. You did your thing. You ripped it up. So this the question: if you had to challenge any Houston female artist that you know of, who would it be and why?
Ooh, challenge.
Yes.
A Houston female artist.
Yes, the local artists up in here.
Who are we challenging? That's a really challenging question in itself.
It's a friendly battle, you know. A friendly battle. Would it be Texas Marie, or would it be Sonny the rapper? Would it be, hey?
Man, it's really hard to try to challenge somebody. It really is. And I say that as humble as possible, not trying to say, I think that all these women in the industry, at least here in the city, that's what I like about it, is we're like a pool of different styled artists. Yeah. And none of us are like really the same, and we all have like our own.
Right.
It would be kind of unfair to challenge anyone, but I definitely be going up for like, I like the good lyricists. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I could give some shout outs to like, man, I really admire Desiree Simone. Yes. I like her delivery as well. Okay. I like the way she come. Just artists that are really talking about something. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And not having to over sexualize it. Shout out to those female artists. Got you. And I see, I know, you're from the South Side. We got you way over here on the North Side. Welcome, welcome. I come over here. They know. If you know, you know. You see Queen on that North. Like, you see me, okay? So, far as the male rappers around here, I know you've probably been around a few legendary people. Which H-Town rapper, South or North, just in Houston, that's dead or alive, that what can I say, gave a little inspiration to you, or that you admire a little bit in the game? Oh, well, everybody knows my brother J-Dog. All right. I love J-Dog, and that's because of his spirit. Okay. But again, just like I'd pick a Kendrick, it's the delivery. Yes. It's the sound of his voice. His voice is really his instrument. And when I say he uses it full-fledged, he doesn't just use it as a rapper. Okay. If anything, if you get around him long enough, you'll see he's really more impactful with his voice. Yeah. During discussions and conversations with people. Right. He will stop and talk to a whole room and have a meaningful conversation that maybe that so many people in that room needed to take with them. Probably they needed that message. And it's, definitely a voice, definitely a vessel. Okay. And so artists that he's just one of the few artists that I've had the pleasure of being close enough with to learn his spirit. And that's who I would admire because of all of that, just because of the whole full package of artists. I met J-Dog one time in Austin, and I was on stage and I was doing something. They pulled up and he came to the stage, and man, we just hugged like we've been knowing each other like tight, like and I felt that energy from that cat. That's all good too. So it touches a lot of people, right? So that's who I would have to go with. So one thing I want you to do also. Tell people how they can find you on social media also. I want to make sure they can find you, network with you, do business, book you, since you do so many things. Yes. We are at, on Instagram, Queen Karzaree, that's Queen with a K, KWEEN KAZAREE. You can also follow the Forever Faded page at Forever Faded HTX. So for events, anything dealing with hosting events, curating events, that's the page you would go to. Queen Karzaree is shining on the Queen Karzaree Instagram page, but Instagram is my primary social media handles and the best way to contact me. Contact with me. Also, the people are going to know that you're going to be performing today, so they'll get a chance to hear. If you can, tell us a little bit about the song. Yes. Okay, so speaking of legends, being able to work with and being impacted by as well, ESG is also, one of those legends that has inspired me and is really been like a staple, I feel, in the industry as far as underground. Okay. He's out there, really touching artists and, being accessible to artists in ways where, I ended up in the studio with him one time. Nice. And it was a blessing. And I was getting this beat cooked up by Lil Ju. Shout out Lil Ju.
All right, shout out.
Lil Ju made the beat. But, ESG's listening to it and he's like, you should say this.
Right.
Got him scared to touch me.
All right.
Got him scared to fuck me.
Okay.
Ever seen a pretty bitch get ugly? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But me, I'm such a premeditated writer, so I took that, what he said, and I'm like, all right, let me build a hook around it. I went home, listened to the beat, caught my vibe or whatever. I built a little hook around it, included that part, and it was an honor saying like, hey, I basically collaborated on the hook with ESG.
Right.
And this is going on my project, and it's just a blessing to have those, those moments. So that's the track I decided to share with you guys. It's called Get Ugly. And, it's just about a pretty girl having to, get gangster every now and then, sometimes we gotta get ugly,
Have you ever had to get gangster?
Oh, plenty of times, we just don't talk about that. You don't see that. That's not the part that you see. We don't advertise that. That's not the part we market.
One thing I see when I see you on social media, mainly on Instagram, I always watch you and I've always been a fan of your work and how you move, It's not a coincidence that we're doing business today. I've been focused on you for a long time now, and we finally get a chance to work together. But one thing I like is that you have a intellectual, it's like a spiritual connection type of side to you. I always watch you with books, and it's just a different vibe. If you can, tell us about that side of you.
Oh man, that's just, that's the self-love.
Okay.
That's the self-love part. I like to express that on social media a lot. Most of the time it's to encourage myself sometimes to look and keep myself encouraged on loving myself, but also I'm like, hey, let's share, certain messages,
yes,
with my followers or whoever it is that's tapped in with my Instagram family, I would say, and, share how I'm working on loving on myself.
Yeah.
And that's just really being connected. I like, if you'll see me sitting in grass, I'm
yes,
grounding, I'm recharging, I'm allowing, my body to have a physical connection to the earth,
okay,
which is very,
that's
very
dope.
healthy for people, and people don't know. A lot of times we spend all day with our shoes and on concrete.
Yes.
Never once touched a tree, never once touched any soil, so, there's health benefits to that. So every now and then I like to pause and stop and sit by the water,
And then I seen that you just recently had a birthday and turned up.
Oh yeah, that's when y'all gonna see me act a fool. I'm gonna keep it together all year long, but when it's my birthday, I'm act a fool. Yeah, we have fun.
Now, in Houston, it's a lot of artists that are doing their thing and don't get a chance to get any shine or any spotlight. Unfortunately, sometimes it seems like a lot of really true, rooted talent get overlooked. So, is it anybody that that's not getting the proper accolades or the proper recognition? Who would that person be? If you could name that person and give them a shout out.
Oh, y'all know. Y'all already know who I don't know if y'all already know, but my girl, I Am Lopez.
Okay. I know her. Very talented. Very talented. I've seen her. Very underrated, very talented.
Yes, a whole nother species.
And if you can, tell the people a little bit about her.
Man, she is a mother.
Yes.
Who's getting it out the gutter. Like, she's not let any of her circumstances be an excuse to stop her.
Yes.
All of the odds that are against her, her first being a female, then being Latina, then not having this stigmatism, BBL look, being happy and natural and confident.
That's good.
Man, we don't have a lot of women that are embracing who they are.
Right.
And she's done that so beautifully.
She has.
She's done it so beautifully, and she gets so much hate for it. But you know what? It's so much of a recharge. Mm-hmm. So I see this girl, I've seen her, and I think that I choose her because she comes to my mind because I've actually been close enough to see her grind.
Me too.
And when I tell you that grind is impeccable, man, and she has a beautiful spirit.
Yes.
And she spreads positivity while she's grinding. And I'm like, I love it. You know, you don't come across a lot of great spirits. And I just feel like when you're able to have that much power in a room, she should be recognized a little bit more for that.
And I can tell that you're telling the truth because one day I brought a bunch of artists to, I deal with Texas and Hustle Town sometimes, and you know, I was sitting there watching the talent, and I come in with a group of artists, and I seen her, and she got on stage, and man, I was just like, wow, she didn't even know me. I was the first person to go hug her when she come out. If she's gonna be like, this guy, I can't give her. I was like,
she always gives you something you can feel.
I mean, you can feel it. It's hard. It's like you can tell that she got a presence because when she did it, she make you want to move and you feel that energy. So that was a good choice. That was a very good choice, and I hope that she, you know, watches the interview once it go up.
Oh, she's gonna watch it, but for sure, the thing about it is, she's might be not getting what she deserves now, but it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming because with a grind and a work ethic like that, there ain't no other way.
I'm gonna ask you another question. You know, the industry, it have changed a lot. Unfortunately, it got a lot of violence in it. It also got a lot of content. You know, so what do you feel about that? Do you feel that the industry is gonna ever, you know, it switched so often? Do you feel like everybody's gonna move away from trying to be so gangster with all the guns and killing each other?
I have faith that it will. Because stuff gets old and tiring. Like, this is science. It's not gonna stay the same. If people are gonna start getting bored. And I know it might seem, for us, we've been bored since it started. Like, we was over it before it even started. So we like, is it over already? Like I said, the over-sexualizing, the gangster, violence, you know, all of that. You know, I am a firm believer as a rapper, though, in rapping in a way to where sometimes it's metaphoric.
Right.
You know, so I might say something, but I'm not saying what it doesn't. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying exactly what I said. It's just a metaphor for a double meaning. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and that's, as an artist, you want to write like that so you can relate to multiple people, right? So, you know, you can't always take all the lyrics up too serious. Get you know, make it relate to you. The goal is to be relatable, to find the song relatable, right? So if you find the song relatable and you like it, it's relatable to you. What the artist said, it might, you know, it might not mean what you think it means. But I think it's gonna definitely fade. I think it's gonna get tiring, and people are it's gonna be that back to that conscious rap.
Now, you know, in Houston, Texas, you know, we have a lot of legends, you know, in Texas, and you know, in Houston, Texas. Out of all the ones that passed, that's not here no longer with us, those legends, which one affected you the most after their passing?
We lost a lot of soldiers, man.
Give me two of them. It just hit kind of hard.
Well, you know, Screw passing was the most detrimental loss that the age took. You know, there's just so many, it's just so many that we lost, you know, and, but as an artist, for me, whenever I started really being more cautious and aware of rap, we were really, in my household, big UGK fans. And so we were really impacted. Our whole household was impacted when we lost Pimp C. That was because we were very much fans of the music, and that was, you know, something we was impacted by as a family. So I would say Pimp, but I mean, it's not that was any less or more impactful than all the other legends that we lost, man, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. And I got like might be a tricky question, I don't know. You know, this is just for the people that's watching. For the guys out there, are you dating anybody?
That's a great question. I am now opening myself up to start dating. I'm actually desiring dating now. I think I'm in a good place for it. Before I wasn't so much. Definitely open to it now. Not, any one person in particular
Okay,
that
all
gets to take the crown just yet, but I don't know. That might be a process, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on SSE Texas TV. But before we go, I want everybody to know she can really do a great performance in Bless Y'all. Also,
Yes.
I want you to give your shout outs.
Oh, we finna be going. No, again, man. First, God. Shout out the man upstairs for just making my purpose great, giving me purpose, man. But we have obviously Exotic Pop Exotic Pop. We got Hustletown Net.
Okay.
We got my sister, Texas Marie. She's an artist. She's out here hustling and marketing and doing everything she doing independent, just like me. So, artists like my sister, I gotta give her her crown and give her flowers as well. I got my boy Eduardo, that is my right hand man.
Okay.
Go Toe Soccer, okay? So shout out DAC, Go Toe Soccer. I could keep going and going, but when you see him with me, Dead Genius, my boy, my best friend Dion, y'all gotta check the new project he got coming out.
Okay.
It's just so much to look forward to.
I got another question.
Okay.
I know you do music and you do a lot of things. Is there a certain talent that you have that nobody knows that you have, but only you?
Ooh. I'm pretty much an open book. So if I have the talent, somebody knows about it. Cause I can't help it. Hey, look what I can do.
So tell the viewers what's your other talent other than music.
Other than music, I'm a pretty good cross-examiner.
Okay.
I can argue. Let's say that you're looking at a future law student. So that's something about myself that people don't know. I am preparing to study law, and we will be going into those endeavors.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you. I appreciate you for being on SSE Texas TV, and y'all stay tuned for a great performance.
Let's get it.